I never seen no like this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That footage of Young Dolph's death just dropped, and it's nothing like we expected. In the video, Dolph's arm is seen hanging out the window, motionless. And now, the internet's in full shock mode. Not just because of how graphic it is, but because it's bringing a whole new layer to how Dolph was really ambushed that day. People are saying this changes everything about what we thought we knew. Let's break it all down. The unseen footage and tragic end. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say that losing Young Dolph was a major blow to the culture. The man was really out here doing his thing independently, showing the youngins how to own your masters and build generational wealth without bowing down to the major labels. He was that rare breed of artist who kept it 100 while playing chess, not checkers, with his career moves. Now, on November 17th, 2021, Young Dolph, born Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., was at Makeda's Homemade Butter Cookies in Memphis, Tennessee, just copping some of his favorite treats. It was a spot he frequented and showed love to regularly. But what should have been a regular day turned into his last when two gunmen pulled up and opened fire, hitting him with 22 gunshot wounds. The whole thing was captured on surveillance footage from both inside and outside the cookie shop. But what we're talking about today isn't that surveillance footage that's been used in court. Now we're talking about something much more controversial. A 44-second clip that was filmed by a bystander on Facebook Live showing the immediate aftermath of the shooting before authorities moved Dolph's body. This footage reportedly shows Young Dolph's arm sticking out of a broken window at the cookie shop. It was shared on X and viewed over 60,000 times in a short period, causing major controversy in the process.
Oh my God, y'all. They say Dolph dead, y'all. They say Dolph dead. Right up here on Airways and Kitchen. I'm talking about I was just standing out here just seeing this.
This leak sparked heated debates about ethics, respect for the dead, and the trauma such graphic content can cause to a victim's family. The footage was described as sensitive and potentially traumatizing for Young Dolph's loved ones. Unlike the official surveillance videos used during the trial of Justin Johnson, one of the men charged with Dolph's murder, this Facebook Live footage was never intended for legal proceedings or public consumption.
Oh, wait. I never seen no like this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
The person who recorded this video can be heard expressing shock, saying things like, "Oh my goodness, you said that Dolph is dead. They said that Dolph is dead." And later, "I have never seen anything like this. Oh my God, they said it was Dolph." This gives you an idea of just how raw and unfiltered this footage was, capturing the immediate confusion and horror of bystanders who were processing what had just happened in real time. Young Dolph wasn't just another rapper. He was a father, a partner to his longtime girlfriend Mia J, and a crucial financial provider for his family. He was building generational wealth and giving back to his community through charitable work. When footage like this leaks, it doesn't just violate his dignity in death, it compounds the trauma for everyone who loved him and looked up to him. Before his death, Dolph had survived multiple assassination attempts. In 2017, his bulletproof SUV was shot at over 100 times in Charlotte, North Carolina, but he walked away unharmed and even performed that same night. Later that year, he was shot multiple times in Los Angeles, but recovered after emergency surgery. These incidents inspired his album Bulletproof, which included the track 100 Shots, a defiant response to those trying to take him out.
And you're not just hurting him personally, you're hurting his kids. He's probably the #1 financial revenue for his family, generational wealth, the things that he was doing for. What did he do to you?
But what exactly led to Young Dolph's tragic end? The answer seems to lie in a long-standing beef with another Memphis heavyweight, Yo Gotti, and his CMG Collective Music Group label. This wasn't just some Twitter beef or rap rivalry for show. This was street business that spilled into the music and eventually led to deadly consequences.
And he has serious beef in the city. Him and Yo Gotti have been going back and forth. Not to say this has anything to do with that, but I'm saying he has serious beef.
The beef reportedly began around 2014 when Dolph declined an offer to sign with Yo Gotti's CMG label. Instead, he chose to remain independent with his own paper route empire, PRE. This decision seemingly offended Gotti, though he never publicly confirmed this. Over the years, the tension escalated through diss tracks, social media posts, and alleged violence. In February 2016, Dolph released his album, King of Memphis, a title that was seen as a direct challenge to Yo Gotti, who had been calling himself the king of the city. That same month, Dolph tweeted, "Bra went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater," clearly referring to Gotti. The situation intensified when Black Youngstar, a CMG artist, posted a video threatening Dolph and later appeared in Dolph's South Memphis neighborhood with armed associates. Youngstar also released Shake Some, a diss track questioning Dolph's Memphis ties. Gotti tried to distance himself from these actions, but Dolph accused him of orchestrating Youngstar's moves. In 2017, the beef reached new heights when Dolph released Play With Yo, a diss track targeting Gotti with personal attacks, including references to the mother of Gotti's child. The music video featured a Gotti lookalike, doubling down on the provocation. Gotti responded with Don't Beef With Me, featuring Youngsta and Moneybagg Yo. By November 2017, Dolph expressed frustration with the feud, telling The Breakfast Club the whole situation is lame and dismissing it as beneath him. Gotti, in an October 2017 Breakfast Club interview, denied any personal issues, stating, "We never had one argument, never touched each other, never exchanged no money," and suggested Dolph was using the feud for marketing. But behind the scenes, things were apparently much more serious. During the 2024 trial of Justin Johnson, prosecutors alleged that Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, had placed a $100,000 bounty on Young Dolph's head. According to testimony from Cornelius Smith, one of the co-defendants who confessed to being a shooter, this hit was orchestrated by Big Jook and communicated through Hernandez Govin, another suspect in the case.
I mean, the whole situation is a train wreck on every level, because after Young Dolph gets killed, Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, gets killed in front of his mother. And once the trial started coming out, you find out allegedly that Big Jook had hits on all the PRE dudes. Had 100,000 on Dolph, 50,000 on Key Glock, 50,000 on PRE Wu, 20,000 on Snoop Bands, 5,000 from Moochie Great. And from what they're saying is that Straight Drop only got $800.
Smith claimed that he and Johnson were promised $40,000 each for killing Dolph, with Govin taking $10,000 as the middleman. However, Smith testified that he only received $800 before his arrest in January 2022. This shocking revelation suggests that the shooters were severely underpaid for carrying out the hit, which might explain why they were so sloppy in their execution, leaving behind evidence that eventually led to their capture. The fact that such a small amount was paid for taking the life of a major artist like Young Dolph speaks volumes about how little regard there was for human life in this situation. It wasn't even about the money. It was about eliminating a perceived threat or rival, regardless of the consequences.
You know what I'm saying? So now I know he maybe sit back like, man, I took this man life, this thought, his life for $800.
Even if he threw his life away for $100,000, that's idiotic.
Yeah.
Up next, we'll dive deeper into the trial that revealed these shocking details and explore how the aftermath of Dolph's murder led to even more bloodshed in Memphis. The cycle of violence that took Young Dolph would soon claim another high-profile victim, creating a domino effect that continues to impact the Memphis hip-hop scene to this day. The murder trial and shocking revelations. The trial of Justin Johnson, known by his rap name Straight Drop, concluded on September 26, 2024, with the jury finding him guilty on all counts, including first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and being a convicted felon in possession of a handgun. Johnson received a life sentence for the murder charge, with additional sentencing for the other charges scheduled for November 1, 2024. Due to the high-profile nature of the case and intense media coverage in Memphis, jurors were brought in from outside Shelby County to ensure an impartial trial. The prosecution, led by Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman, presented a compelling case that painted a picture of a calculated hit ordered by Anthony Big Jook Mims, the older brother of rapper Yo Gotti. The most explosive testimony came from Cornelius Smith, Johnson's co-defendant, who took the stand and confessed to being one of the two shooters who ambushed Young Dolph at Makita's Cookies. Smith identified himself and Johnson in the surveillance footage shown in court and provided damning details about the alleged murder-for-hire plot. According to Smith, Hernandez Govin approached him and Johnson with an offer from Big Jook $100,000 to kill Young Dolph. The arrangement was supposedly for each shooter to receive $40,000, with Govin taking $10,000 as the middleman. Smith further claimed that Big Jook had placed bounties on all PRE artists, not just Dolph, suggesting a systematic attempt to dismantle Young Dolph's label.
I'd have been mad. You got five on my head. You got all this money there. Yo.
Well, you talked about how in New Orleans, when it came to getting paid for hits, everyone you've ever heard of has always been paid 100%. You've never heard. I mean, imagine killing Young Dolph and you get enough money to go buy a PlayStation.
What made this testimony particularly shocking was Smith's claim that he only received $800 before his arrest in January 2022, a paltry sum compared to the promised $40,000. This revelation raised questions about the credibility of the bounty offer and whether the shooters were manipulated into carrying out the hit with false promises of a significant payday. Johnson's defense attorney, Luke Evans, challenged Smith's credibility, arguing that he was lying from start to finish to secure a lighter sentence for himself. Evans pointed pointed to inconsistencies in Smith's statements and suggested that his testimony couldn't be trusted given his obvious motivation to shift blame. Despite these efforts, the jury ultimately found the evidence against Johnson compelling enough to convict him. The prosecution's case was strengthened by substantial evidence beyond Smith's testimony. Surveillance footage clearly showed the shooting, and additional evidence linked Johnson to Crosstown Concourse, his alleged residence, and an abandoned house where the getaway car, a stolen white Mercedes, was found. Fingerprints and gas station footage further connected the vehicle to the crime scene. During the trial, the jury was also shown graphic crime scene and autopsy photos. Despite defense objections, these images likely had a significant impact on the jury, revealing the brutal nature of the attack that left Young Dolph with 22 gunshot wounds.
You know, Hernandez, we're not quite sure, but it's like you got two people dead. One of them died in front of their mother. You know, and I know for a fact that as Juke is dying, I'm sure he's thinking, man, this shouldn't have gone this far.
While Johnson's trial has concluded, the case against Hernandez Govan, the alleged middleman who communicated Big Juke's hit order to the shooters, is still pending. Govan's trial is scheduled for July 28, 2025, after he rejected a plea deal. His role as the connection between Big Juke and the shooters makes him a crucial figure in understanding the full scope of the conspiracy. But perhaps the most troubling aspect of this case is how it reveals the deadly consequences of rap rivalries when they extend beyond music and into the streets. What began as a business disagreement, Dolph declining to sign with CMG escalated into diss tracks, threats, shootings, and ultimately murder. It shows how quickly things can spiral out of control when egos, street credibility, and territorial disputes are involved. The testimony about Big Juke's role in ordering the hit adds another layer of complexity to the case, especially considering what happened to him after these allegations came to light. In January 2024, Big Juke was shot and killed outside Perignon's restaurant in Memphis, shortly after attending a funeral repast. This killing, which occurred while his mother was nearby, has been widely interpreted as retaliation for Young Dolph's murder, though no one has been charged in connection with Big Juke's death as of April 2025.
I totally agree with you.
I think that if there wasn't, because
no one thought about that. You're absolutely right.
it's time to go.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. Because, I think like one of Yo Gotti's restaurants got shot up right afterwards.
The allegation that Big Juke placed bounties on multiple PRE artists, not just Young Dolph, came to light during the trial and gained further traction when DJ Academics shared a viral list in October 2024, purportedly from leaked court documents. According to this list, Big Juke had allegedly placed the following bounties: Young Dolph, $100,000. Key Glock, Markevius Cathy, $50,000. Paper Root Woo, Terrence Baker, $50,000. Big Moochie Grape, Zaquelius Davenport, $5,000. Snoop Bands, $20,000. While the authenticity of this list remains unverified, it aligns with Smith's testimony about broader pre-bounties and has fueled speculation about a systematic campaign against Dolph's label. The staggering amounts allegedly offered for these hits suggest a level of determination and resources that goes beyond a typical rap beef. For Young Dolph's family, particularly his longtime partner Mia Jaya and their 2 children, the trial provided some measure of justice, but also forced them to relive the trauma of his violent death. During the proceedings, Dolph's sister Carlisa Brown expressed gratitude for the verdict, but emphasized that it didn't erase their ongoing grief. The impact of Young Dolph's murder extends far beyond his immediate family. As a mentor and label head, he was nurturing the careers of artists like Key Glock, his cousin by marriage. After Dolph's death, Key Glock stepped up to lead Paper Root Empire, releasing tribute songs like Proud and continuing Dolph's legacy. The strong bond between Dolph and Key Glock was evident in Glock's emotional response to the murder, as he described Dolph as his left-hand man, my brother, my cousin, my mentor, and drank partner in a heartfelt Instagram post.
And if that's the case, and that's his brother, it's going to continue.
It's going to continue.
It's going to
get
continue.
Worse.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, because you're not getting past that. Not your older brother.
And it's emotional.
The ripple effects of Dolph's murder have been felt throughout Memphis and the broader hip-hop community. It sparked conversations about gun violence, the value of black life, and accountability in the music industry. Many have pointed out the tragic irony that Dolph, who once survived 100 shots in a previous assassination attempt, was ultimately killed while simply buying cookies in his hometown. For Memphis specifically, this case highlights the city's struggles with violence and the complex dynamics within its rap scene. Memphis has a rich hip-hop history, from 3 6 Mafia mafia to the current generation of artists, but it's also a city with high crime rates and deep socioeconomic challenges. The Dolph murder case brought national attention to these issues and raised questions about how to break cycles of violence that claim too many young black lives. Next up, we'll look at the aftermath of these tragic events, from Big Juke's death to the ongoing impact on Memphis and the hip-hop community at large. We'll also look into Young Dolph's lasting legacy and how his independent business model continues to inspire a new generation of artists even after his untimely death. The aftermath and ongoing cycle of violence. As we discussed earlier during Justin Johnson's trial, Cornelius Smith testified that Big Juke, Yo Gotti's brother, had allegedly ordered the hit on Young Dolph. These allegations put a target on Big Juke's back, and on January 13, 2024, just months after these claims became public, Big Juke was shot and killed outside Perignon's restaurant in Memphis.
Well, a lot of stuff has happened recently that you've commented on as well. I think in the hip-hop world, Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, got killed after leaving a funeral. And from what I understand, he was at a restaurant with his mother. He was coming out.
The killing occurred after Big Juke had attended a repast following the funeral of Eric Bovan, a relative and former Memphis cocaine kingpin connected to Yo Gotti's family. According to police reports, an officer in the vicinity heard multiple gunshots and discovered Big Juke and another man with gunshot wounds. Big Juke was pronounced dead at the hospital, while the second victim survived in stable condition.
He had to run out the car.
Yeah. I could be wrong too, but that's why it was my understanding that they was out there viewing the body, and when he walked out, his mother got in the van or the truck or something, and he was standing out, and the guys attacked him.
Witnesses reported that suspects in a white SUV were responsible for the shooting, and surveillance footage was obtained. However, as of January 2025, no suspects have been identified, and no charges have been filed. The police have described the incident as an assassination-style slaying, indicating it was a targeted attack rather than a random act of violence. What makes Big Juke's death particularly eerie is his final Instagram post, made just a day before his murder. In it, he wrote, "They don't want to face you, they want to snake you. Stay alert too. Stay alive, watch your back at all times." This prophetic message suggests he was aware of potential threats against him, possibly related to the allegations that had come to light during the Young Dolph murder trial. The timing of Big Juke's death, less than 4 months after trial revelations about his alleged role in Dolph's murder, has fueled widespread speculation that it was retaliation. Social media exploded with comments linking the two killings, with one ex-post stating, "Still sliding for Dolph. Yo Gotti brother Big Juke just got killed." This sentiment was echoed across platforms like Reddit, where users discussed the apparent connection between the two murders. Further fueling these theories, some social media users pointed to videos of Big Juke allegedly mocking Young Dolph's death, suggesting that such disrespect made him a target for retaliation. Additionally, there were reports of a shooting targeting CMG's head of security just 2 days before Big Juke's murder, indicating a possible pattern of attacks against those associated with Yo Gotti and CMG. Despite the rampant speculation, the Memphis Police Department has not publicly confirmed a link between Young Dolph's and Big Juke's murders. As of January 2025, the investigation into Big Juke's death remains ongoing, with no new developments reported. This lack of progress has led some to theorize that law enforcement might be building a larger case, possibly even a RICO investigation, though no evidence has emerged to support this. The fallout from these killings has been devastating for both the PRE and CMG camps, as well as the broader Memphis community. Young Dolph's partner, Mia J, had been vocal about her Black Men Deserve to Grow Old campaign even before Dolph's death, making his murder all the more tragic. For Yo Gotti, losing his brother while at the height of his career success with CMG represents a personal tragedy that no amount of professional achievement can offset. The murder of Young Dolph and the subsequent trial revelations sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, particularly in Memphis. The city, already struggling with gun violence, saw one of its most successful rap exports gunned down in broad daylight at a local business he frequented and supported. The loss was felt deeply, not just by fans of his music, but by the community he had invested in through his philanthropy and presence. In the wake of Dolph's death, the city renamed a street near his childhood home, Adolph Young Dolph Thornton Jr. Avenue. Representative Torrey C. Harris and former Senator Katrina Robinson even proposed a bill to establish November 17th as the Adolph Thornton Day of Service to honor his contributions to Memphis. These gestures speak to the impact Dolph had beyond his music. He was a symbol of success, resilience, and giving back. The Idami Family Foundation, named after Dolph's grandmother who raised him, continues his philanthropic work, focusing on Castalia Heights in Memphis and Chicago's Auburn Gresham Gresham and Washington Heights neighborhoods. The foundation organizes Dolph Day on November 17th, encouraging community service like food donations and volunteering, ensuring that his commitment to uplifting others lives on. Musically, Dolph's legacy has been preserved through posthumous releases like Long Live Young Dolph, 2022, and Paper Route Frank, 2022, allowing fans to continue connecting with his art. Paper Route Empire, now led by Key Glock, carries forward Dolph's vision, proving that his independent approach to the music business remains viable and influential. Speaking of Key Glock, his relationship with Dolph went beyond just business. As cousins by marriage who had met at family gatherings, they developed a bond that was as personal as it was professional. When Dolph signed Glock to PRE in 2017, he took on the role of mentor, guiding the younger artists through the industry while fostering his raw talent. Dolph's death devastated Glock, who initially deactivated his Instagram account, overwhelmed by grief. When he returned to social media days later, he posted, "Stop asking me if I'm okay, knowing damn well I ain't," and later shared a photo collage with Dolph, captioning it, "Damn bro, I'm lost. Why you leave me so soon? I'll never be the same." He referred to Dolph as his left-hand man, my brother, my cousin, my mentor and drank partner, underscoring the depth of their relationship. In January 2022, Glock released Proud, a tribute single included on the PRE compilation Long Live Young Dolph, which peaked at number 73 on the Billboard Hot 100. That same month, he got a tattoo of Dolph, symbolizing his permanent commitment to keeping his cousin's memory alive. In an interview with Revolt, Glock vowed to uphold Dolph's legacy, saying, "I just got to make sure his name and his brand stay alive. It ain't even about me." But while some worked to preserve Dolph's legacy through positive means, the violent cycle that claimed his life continued to claim others. Big Juke's murder in January 2024, whether directly connected to Dolph's death or not, perpetuated the narrative of deadly consequences stemming from rap rivalries. The unsolved nature of his killing only added to the mystery and speculation surrounding the entire saga. Online forums like Reddit and social media platforms like X became breeding grounds for theories about Big Juke's death. Some users speculated it was direct retaliation for Dolph's murder, with comments like, "I remember people was speculating that he paid for the hit on Dolph. Don't know if it's true, of course, but that's what was said a lot." Others pointed to a potential pattern, noting a shooting 2 days before Big Juke's death that allegedly targeted CMG's head of security, suggesting a coordinated attack on the label. As of January 2025, the Memphis Police Department reported no new developments in Big Juke's case. A public information officer told the Commercial Appeal that homicide investigators had no updates at this time, leaving the case as mysterious and unresolved as parts of Dolph's own murder investigation. Amidst the legal proceedings and ongoing investigations, questions persisted about Yo Gotti's knowledge or involvement in the alleged plot against Dolph. Despite the accusations against his brother Big Juke, no direct evidence linked Gotti himself to the murder. In fact, the only documented criminal charge against Gotti occurred in November 2010 following a shooting outside Level 2 nightclub in Memphis, and those charges were ultimately dropped due to insufficient witnesses. As we conclude this exploration of Young Dolph's case, it's worth asking what lessons can be learned from this tragedy. How can the hip-hop community break cycles of violence without compromising authenticity? How can social media platforms better regulate the sharing of sensitive content? And how can we honor the legacies of fallen artists without glorifying the circumstances of their deaths? Young Dolph's story, from his rise as an independent force in hip-hop to his tragic end, contains powerful lessons about success, rivalry, loyalty, and vulnerability. His business acumen and commitment to ownership continue to inspire artists seeking independence, while his death serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating impact of violence. In Memphis, the wounds from these killings remain fresh, with no closure in sight for Big Juke's murder and Hernandez Govin's trial still pending. The city's hip-hop scene continues to grapple with these losses while trying to move forward. For fans of both Young Dolph and artists from the CMG camp, the tragedy highlights how destructive rap beefs can become when they extend beyond music and into the streets. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other awesome videos on the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.